The Captain's Table, a play by Paul McCann. This play is set around a dinner table on a cruise ship out on the ocean, in a place somewhere between the Devil and the deep blue sea, where some look for romance, like ships in the night, or others in search of something more lasting, like an anchor in their life. Then there are those in need of an escape, and so they sign up for a cruise to nowhere. But wherever they are, and for whatever the reason they are there, they all go where no one can follow, towards new horizons in search of a better tomorrow. Yes, it could never really be like this in reality. To be out there on the ocean with the captain and the crew with nothing to do, no traffic or commotion, just floating out on the ocean like a speck at night with the stars up above, and during the day they're like castaways from life under a big blue sky. The cast of characters: the captain, the captain's wife, Faith, the lover, Bill, the policeman, Doc, the doctor, Sid and Madge, the newlyweds, Nick, the carer, Dave, the journalist, and Dario, the chef. The play begins. She makes her way to the door of the dining room like an angel on the airs of grace, pausing to talk to the captain, who is there at the door, welcoming the passengers as they arrive for dinner. She pushed back her hair and smiled at the captain and winked. "Hello, Faith. Would you please try to keep a low profile?"
"I'll try my very hardest, but sometimes, my love, the heart rules the head. Well, tell me, what do you think?"
"Think about what?"
"Don't you notice anything different about me?"
Of course, you've got new glasses.
"No, take a closer look."
New dress, isn't it? Yes, and it's very nice. The colour suits you.
"No, look again."
Must be the perfume.
"Wrong again."
New earrings?
"Give it up for the captain. So, do you like my new hairstyle?"
I knew that's what it was. I was just being silly. Yes, I like it. And I think it makes you much younger looking.
"So are you saying I looked old before?"
Of course not. It's just another way of saying I like it.
"You men are all the same. You never say what you mean, and you never mean what you say. So, tell me, who else is on the captain's table tonight?"
A few more passengers make their way to the door, and the captain ushers Faith to one side and continues the conversation in a private space. There's a full table tonight. You and me, my wife, and...
Whoa, wait up. Did you say your wife?
Yes, and her carer as well. As our two little long-haired Maltese terriers are coming too.
You got to be kidding.
No, I'm serious.
What? Well, wait, back up a minute. Did you say your wife was at the table tonight?
It's fine. She doesn't know you, and you don't know her. No problem.
No way, love. I'm not coming to dinner.
It's only for tonight. She's getting off tomorrow. She's seeing a specialist in Miami, so please calm down. I need you to be at the table tonight.
No way, love. I'm not coming to dinner. You expect me to sit and eat with you and your wife? I'll choke.
Faith, relax. She can't eat and her medication makes her sleepy. So just put up with her just for a little while. Please, can you do that for me?
The dogs are coming as well.
They'll be in a cage behind her electric wheelchair. See now, nothing to worry about.
What about her carer?
His job is just to bring her to the table, spoon feed her, and bring her back to her room. You know very well I love you and need you, so don't make an issue of this.
Who else is at the table?
They're a mixed bunch. A doctor, police officer, journalist, and two 83-year-old newlyweds.
83-year-olds? My goodness, what a wonderful way to spend their honeymoon. I just hope they make it to the table okay.
Their local senior citizens club purchased them a mystery cruise for a wedding gift. So here they are.
I thought they didn't do mystery tours anymore, cruises or whatever they are.
I'm told they're now called cruises to nowhere.
Talking about honeymoons, I hope we don't have to wait until we're 83 to get a cruise to nowhere. I'm talking about now for you and me. How long must we wait?
Well, the specialist in Florida was saying she might have 6 months left, but they're not sure. Now, she's made an appointment in Miami tomorrow with another specialist, and she wants a second opinion. I'm sure it won't be too long, my love. Just be patient.
Patient is a long word. They said a year ago she wouldn't survive more than a month, and now here she is. She's still here.
I know. Listen, after we have dinner and she's gone to bed, I'll come round to your room and we'll have a little nightcap. That'll be a nice way to end the day. And tomorrow she'll be gone.
What's on the menu?
Well, I can't wait to sample the creations of our new 5-star chef. They call him Stormy the Gourmet. Hard to get on with and constantly singing, but he's on the list of the top 10 best chefs in the world.
So, what's he cooking for us tonight, and has he got a name?
They call him Double D, and tonight his dish for us is called a Captain's Surprise. Don't know much else about it.
Some of the crew approached the captain, and they had a quiet word with him. Faith noticed he looked concerned. The captain nodded a few times, and they all left.
Is there a problem, Captain?
Nothing major. It seems the new chef has just had a few drinks and was singing loud in the bar. One of the passengers told him to keep his voice down. It was almost an incident, thankfully, for the ship's security, who intervened, so now I've got to go and settle the matter. Just some conflict resolution stuff, you know.
Sounds like you might have trouble in the kitchen.
Good chefs are hard to find these days, and talented people do have moods. Sometimes passengers can be very demanding and arrogant. See, in about a half an hour, I'll be at the table, so don't stress, it'll all be fine.
The captain walked away, and Faith was about to wave and blow a kiss to him when she saw a woman in an electric wheelchair making her way over to the captain's table. She had small dogs in a cage that was mounted behind her wheelchair. Beside her was her carer, who kept up with her and the wheelchair. With one hand, he was pulling a trolley of oxygen on a tank sitting on board of that, and with the other hand he carried a face mask and some plastic tubing. The woman in the wheelchair steered her way to the captain's table, where the carer proceeded to administer some oxygen to her. Faith watched from a distance, and one by one some of the other guests arrived to the captain's table. Then she went over and sat down herself for dinner. Faith looked a bit uneasy, and she stared at the captain when he arrived and sat down at the table.
Excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom.
The captain sensed something was wrong and asked to be excused from the table. He caught up with Faith outside near the games room. It was dark and no one was around.
Hey, what's your problem?
It's nothing, I just need some space.
I've known you for a while, and I know something's wrong. So what's your problem?
You had to bring her here, didn't you?
The captain put his arms around her.
You know I love you, Faith. So what's the problem?
The chef was sitting nearby, unseen, and overheard their conversation. When the captain and Faith embraced, the chef made his exit unnoticed.
I really wish you had told me that she was coming on the cruise.
Oh, don't make me feel guilty. Relax, come on.
You know we've got something special. So, how do you think I feel? Do you think I'm okay with her at the table making eyes at you and looking like she's yours?
What are you talking about, Faith?
We have a relationship and she's not part of that. This woman has nothing to do with me and I don't even know why she's here.
Can't you just ignore her? I've never seen you act like this before.
What's the point of trying to make you understand? I'm now a captive here. There's nowhere for me to go. This evening will now be just a bad memory for me.
Somehow I thought you'd accept her in our company. It shouldn't change that way we feel about each other.
Can we just drop it? You know what? I need to eat something. How long before dinner will be served?
Not too much longer, okay? So let's do that. Let's return to our table and have a few drinks and pretend she's not even there.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Weird? Like how?
Me at your table eating with your wife and she has no idea we are lovers.
True.
Listen, now you go back first. I'll be there shortly.
Faith made her way back to the captain's table and sat down beside the newlyweds. She looked at them and tried to be friendly.
My, what a beautiful couple you are. How did you both meet?
We met at our over 80 single social club.
Yeah, we went on outings together for over 3 years.
Well, I said to Madge about a month ago, Madge, you know what? Ever since we met, I've never been attracted to another woman.
I looked at Sid and said, you know what, Sid? Neither have I.
And then we both burst out laughing, and that's when I asked her to marry me. And there and then she said she would, and we're still laughing.
Well, the thing is, I told him, said, we're not getting any younger. Then I said, we better not waste any more time. Let's do that thing with the ring.
Everybody at the table started to laugh, and at that moment the captain returned to the table and he sat down. There was a lull in the laughter, and everyone looked at the captain. The captain's wife looked pensive.
Well, how nice of you to join us, Captain. Or should I say, darling?
The captain? Oh, that's me, of course. Sorry, everyone, I had a little problem to sort out.
Well, you all seem to be getting acquainted. That's very good. Now that you have all got to know one another, may I say hello and a big welcome. You're very welcome here to the captain's table.
Everyone responded and applauded and laughed. There was a warm atmosphere there, and the captain called the waiter over.
A bottle of the captain's favourite French champagne, please.
Of course, Captain.
So, Captain, now that you're with us, maybe you could share a little about your life. How long have you been at sea?
Well, actually, I was born on a ship. My parents were Irish immigrants on their way to Ellis Island. So I guess I've been at sea all my life. Well, darling, that's true, you know. He always gets asked that question, everybody. By the way, I'm the captain's wife, if you didn't already know.
The doctor at the table stood up, and then he went over to her side. She began shaking, and the doctor assisted to make her more comfortable in her chair. He loosened her clothing and asked the carer if he could help. They took her out of the wheelchair as she started shaking more vigorously, and they placed her on the ground in an open space. The doctor asked the carer for a brief handover of her condition and what medication she was prescribed. After a few moments, the episode had passed and she was okay. The carer had handed over a list of her medications, and the doctor suggested that she would be returned to her room for a rest. The doctor and the carer placed her back into her wheelchair. The carer looked at the doctor and smiled. Then he looked at everyone else at the table.
You will have to excuse us, everyone. I'll just put her to bed now. Think she's had enough excitement for one day. Good night, everyone. We'll be disembarking in the morning, Captain.
If there is anything she needs, just let me know. I see that things are always taken care of. You have my phone number.
Yes, I'll call you later this evening to let you know how she is.
I'm also here, said the doctor.
Thank you, said the cur.
The doctor looked concerned.
Yeah, I'm here if you should need me any more until. Just call me. Here is my card.
The doctor produced a business card from his suit pocket. Then he looked at the captain.
How long has your wife had MS?
Well, she was diagnosed maybe 10 years ago. More recently, she started having seizures, and now she's got a problem with her liver.
The waiter approached and he placed a plate in front of everyone except for the captain.
Excuse me, what kind of fish is that?
It's sea perch, madam.
Looks tasty. Is that cheesy sauce it's swimming in?
The waiter looked at the captain.
Well, it's the chef's own recipe, and he refuses to share the secret with anyone. He calls it a seafood surprise. Your plight is coming soon, Captain. The chef is just adding a few extra decorations.
The waiter left, and everyone waited for the captain's plate to arrive before they started eating. The champagne arrived, and the captain was offered a glass first that was half filled. The captain tasted it and nodded his approval before everyone else had their glass half filled. The captain raised his glass, and everyone did the same.
I have a few good reasons for drinking, and one has just entered my head. If I can't drink when I'm living, how the hell can I drink when I'm dead?
The police officer smiled.
I'll drink to that.
Everyone laughed, and they all emptied their glass. The waiter arrived with the captain's dinner, and then they all started to eat. The doctor noticed that the captain was in a bit of difficulty.
Are you okay, Captain?
I can't breathe.
Oh my God, what's the matter?
The captain collapsed, and the doctor rushed to attend. He checked for breathing and immediately began CPR, and after a minute he asked if someone could take over. The policeman obliged. The doctor checked for a pulse and said,
I'm very sorry to say that the captain is dead.
Faith screaming aloud,
He can't be dead!
The policeman noted the reaction of Faith, and he began to take an interest. The doctor looked on.
I'm sorry, there is nothing that can be done.
You're a doctor, for heaven's sake. Can't you do something?
I'm just a doctor. I can't raise the dead.
The policeman went over beside Faith, and he put his arms around to comfort her, and he said,
So, have you known the captain for very long?
No, I just met him tonight. The thing is, it's just so frightening to have someone pass away right in front of you like that. I'm just shocked.
The doctor went over and quietly spoke to the policeman.
Could I have a word with you in private, officer?
They walked away into a private space. The doctor looked troubled.
What's the problem, Doc?
I think it's something is not right here.
What are you trying to tell me? Do you think a crime has been committed?
Well, the color of the captain's skin is almost cherry red in color, which is a sign of poisoning. It could indicate that foul play or possible suicide.
Oh, thank you, Doc. Could you look after things for a brief moment? I think I need to inform the captain's wife what's happened and establish a crime scene. I'll have to make some calls and notify my superiors of the situation and get some help here quickly by helicopter. I appreciate your help.
Okay, just leave it with me. I'll watch the fort until you get back.
Thanks, Doc. Much appreciated. Just keep people away from the captain's body until I get back. Could you do that, Doc?
Sure thing. Just a word of warning, sir. It may be that you'll have to remove the captain's clothes before. As it's my suspicion that if he's been poisoned, there is a good chance that some leftover poison could be left on his clothing, and that could make contact with anyone who might try to move him or touch him, and could be fatal.
The dining room was now filled with chatter. The doctor made his way to the captain's table, and he asked people to move away from the body. He asked for people to remain calm, and kept his suspicions to himself. The policeman went to find what room the captain's wife was in to give her the tragic news about her husband's death. The doctor cleared the area around the table and waited for the policeman to return. The journalist who was at the table was now talking to people, busy taking photographs and making some notes. Some of the ship's staff were mingling and talking to the passengers to keep an equilibrium. The policeman returned with Nick, the care of the captain's wife, who stood quietly there beside him. The carer said,
Is it okay if I just look and say a prayer over the body?
Well, yes. Yeah, please do, but don't touch anything.
No problem.
The journalist who was at the captain's table approached the policeman.
Hi, officer. My name's Dave. I work with mainstream media. Would it be true to say that the captain has been murdered? I'm not asking, Dave. I'm telling you. Put away your camera. Don't go spreading any stories or make anything public until a formal investigation's been carried out. There'll be a media conference once we've established what has occurred. Okay, no problem. So, let's get the show on the road. Wow, what a story. The cruise ship killer. Now let me tell you again, Dave. Nothing is to be released at this point in time. Do you get my drift? Hey, chill, Bill. I get the message. Now, back off. No more questions. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? My name is Detective Bill Williams. Everybody must remain here in the dining room. No one is to leave. A helicopter's on its way with a forensic team and some other police officers. I ask all to cooperate with us in our investigation. This area is now a crime scene until further notice.
When the carer was making his way out of the dining room, the policeman noticed that he was carrying a gun. He called the journalist quickly over and hinted for the journalist to follow him, and both of them followed the carer back to the cabin where the captain's wife was staying.
Listen, Dave, I want you to record and write down anything that you hear.
Both of them stood at the door of the cabin and they listened to the conversation inside the room.
Well, tell me, is he dead?
He is, but it was someone else. He did it, and I didn't kill him.
What do you mean? I hired you to get rid of him. And you're saying it was someone else?
That's right, miss. Someone beat me to it. I never got a chance.
Dave, did you get that?
I sure did, Bill. Good, give it to me. It's not for publication. It's evidence. Got it?
Got it.
Good.
Now what?
Just watch and say nothing.
Bill knocked on the door of the cabin. Two dogs inside began barking. The carer opened up the door, and Bill walked inside, followed by the journalist. There was a weird silence as Bill pointed to the mobile phone in his hand.
Everything you said has just been recorded. I have a witness to it all. Nick, you're under arrest for suspicion of the murder and intent to murder the captain.
No. This can't be happening. There must be some mistake. He's my carer.
Well, madam, you seem to have taken a speedy recovery. Make no mistake, it is happening, and we're going to find out what has happened. You are also under arrest as an accessory to murder. I need you both to accompany me now to my office and to your place of temporary internment, which is the cool room in the kitchen, where you'll be held until we dock tomorrow.
I don't believe this.
It's not possible. I am innocent. What's going on? Help! Can somebody help me, please?
The policeman reached over and took the handgun from its holster inside of his jacket.
So, what do you use this for, huh? Taking blood pressure? Hey, that's my personal property. No, it's police property. So, both of you, now, come with me now.
They were taken to the kitchen and placed in the cool room. When the policeman went back to the dining room, he saw the doctor giving some tablets to Faith.
Here, these will help you.
Faith reached out and took the tablets and swallowed them with the water provided. The two newlyweds approached.
Yeah, no, we take medication every day. It does help.
He always forgets to take his, so I take them for him.
Faith started laughing, and the policeman called everyone to attention.
We now have company. Helicopter's just arrived. We gotta get things sorted, so would everyone please be settled.
The investigations began, and one by one, the police from the helicopter made their way to the dining room, and minutes after a brief consultation, they sprung into action. The captain's clothes were removed, and his mobile phone was checked. Photos of Faith were found. The captain's room turned up other interesting items. There were some letters. A number of love letters from Faith surfaced, as did some very disturbing letters, issuing death threats if the captain continued his relationship with Faith. The police started questioning Faith about those letters, while Bill read through those letters looking for some connection, and suspecting maybe they were from the captain's wife. Meanwhile, a search of the captain's wife's cabin produced some photos and documents that confirmed she had hired a private detective and that she was aware that her husband was having an affair with Faith. Further inquiries were made about Nick, the carer, and records were found. He had previously been convicted of murder 10 years ago and had a long list of other convictions to his name. He also had no accreditation for the work that he was doing as a carer. So things seemed to be falling now into place. Bill knew Nick
had a motive and a premeditated plan to kill the captain, and as far as he was concerned, that was as good as guilty. That evening, Bill arranged for the dogs to be kept by the staff on the ship while the two suspects were taken and locked up in the old cool room in the kitchen. Later that night, Bill went to check on his prisoners, and he found the chef was still working in the kitchen. As he went in, the chef was singing away.
There's a slow train coming, a slow train coming.
Bill checked the whiteboard with the breakfast orders and menus for the next morning, and a cold shiver ran through him as he noticed that the handwriting on the notice board was similar to that on the death threat letters. And for a while he just looked at the handwriting on the board before speaking, and he knew he was onto something.
Well, you're quite a talented singer there. Why cook when you can be a singer? Well, I learned that I can do both and still get paid.
Bill reached out his hand.
I never formally introduced myself. My name is Bill, and I'm pleased to meet you, Chef. My name is Dario. Would you mind if I took a selfie photo of us? It's just like a holiday cruise thing, you know. No problem.
Bill took out his mobile phone and took a photo of himself and Dario.
Tell me, Dario, how long have you been a chef? Ever since I can remember. How long have you been a policeman?
As long as I can remember, and that's a long time.
Well, the prisoners inside the cooler room, well, they're doing what's better now that the cooling's turned off. We never use that old cold room. It's just a backup, but just in case. Well, it's come in handy. Thanks, I really appreciate it. Always glad to help with the police. So, those two in the cooler room there, is it true they murdered the captain? Well, we're still investigating. So, tell me, Dario, do you write down all the stuff here on the whiteboard yourself, or have you got someone else that makes the notes? You got to be joking. You must be kidding me. No way. I wouldn't let anyone touch my whiteboard or make my notes. I do it all myself. Well, I admire that, Dario. It's what I call dedication. Dario, you have to excuse me. I left something in my office. I'll be back shortly. Well, Bill, I'm almost finished now. The prep for tomorrow breakfast in the morning. And you have a spare keys for the kitchen and the cool room? Yeah, I do. Thanks, Dario. Catch you later on.
Bill walked away, and the chef continued singing and finishing off the breakfast prep. Just before turning off the lights in the kitchen, Bill walked in through the door.
Back so soon, Bill? Yeah, I'll leave the lights on. I have some work to do. Okay, I'll see you in the morning.
The chef left the kitchen, and Bill took out the death threat letters from his pocket, and he confirmed that the handwriting on the whiteboard was identical to the ones on the death threat letters. And now he had a new suspect. And now he had to find some evidence. A new suspect, and he began to make inquiries about Dario, the chef. One of the other police officers on the ship contacted Bill about Faith. She knew about the death threat letters. Apparently they were made by her old boyfriend, who was jealous that Faith was in a relationship with the captain. Her old boyfriend was a singer in a band, and he had been jealous of her relationship with the captain ever since they broke up. Faith had not seen or had any contact with them until the death threats began coming in. Bill asked the police officer if he could bring her down to the kitchen because he needed to question her further. While he was waiting, Bill went into the cool room and spoke briefly with the other prisoners. A short time after that, Faith was brought into the kitchen.
Well, hello, Faith. Take a seat there, would you?
Hello, Bill. I'm sorry about the secrecy before.
The thing is, I've learned in life, Faith, is that truth always comes out in the end.
It's a woman's privilege to protect her dignity.
Faith, I'm going to show you some photos of two people. One of them's myself, and I want you to tell me if you have ever seen the other man in the photo before.
He showed Faith the photos that he took previously on his mobile phone of the chef and himself.
Oh my God! It's Dario! Where did you get that photo?
I took them earlier this evening, so you are unaware that Dario was the chef on board the ship?
I wasn't aware of that.
Faith, I think I may have found the murderer. I can't be certain until the autopsy tomorrow determines the cause of death. Meanwhile, you must tell no one about this. For your own safety, I will place you under police protection until we make an arrest.
I can't believe that Dario was on board this ship.
Did the captain not know what he looked like?
No, see, Dario and I, we never had many photos taken. He was kind of weird. He would often talk to people who weren't there, you know? So once I saw that, I broke off with him.
Obviously, he knows you're on a ship, I'm sure. I'm going to have to move you to a room with one of my officers. Have you anything that you need to get out of your room?
Nothing really important.
Bill carried one of the letters over, and he had another look before calling one of his men to collect Faith. Then he searched the kitchen, and the search produced a bottle of cyanide. And now he had some solid evidence. So Bill was now sure that there would be some fingerprints on the bottle. So he put the bottle away safely in a plastic food wrapper bag for forensics. Morning came and the ship docked in the port, and before breakfast the captain's body was taken away for an autopsy. Bill waited patiently for the results, and it didn't take very long. Cyanide poisoning was confirmed. Faith had asked if she could be there when Dario was arrested. Later that day, Bill, along with his fellow officers, went into the kitchen to make the arrest.
Dario D. Spinelli, you are under arrest for the murder of the captain. What are you talking about?
Holding up the letters and the bottle of cyanide, Bill said,
Your fingerprints are all over the bottle, and your handwriting is on these here. Death threats, and it matches with the whiteboard.
Faith walked into the kitchen.
How could you do something like this? You're a monster, Dario.
It's all your fault, you bitch. Release those other two from the cool room and take this piece of garbage away.
The police handcuffed Dario as he was taken away. He turned and he screamed,
You bitch! A man cannot live without a love.
The end.